Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Dr. Omar Ibrahim Paracha, and today the topic is tricuspid valve disease and pulmonary stenosis. Tricuspid valve is a valve which is really rarely affected in isolation. Mostly, it is affected with other valves. Uh, when it is affected, the symptoms are primarily extracardiac symptoms. Its symptoms are as the tricuspid valve is related to the right ventricular function, so it has heart failure symptoms, and it is influenced by left-sided pathology. Mostly, it is difficult to evaluate. So, uh, so this is an anatomy of tricuspid valve, which shows that it has three cusps. Tricuspid valve. This is the orifice of tricuspid valve showing three leaflets. So mostly there are two types of tricuspid valve lesions. One is organic and one is functional. These are the organic causes of tricuspid valve disease. In our setup, the most common is infective endocarditis. It infective endocarditis is most common in IV drug abusers. So other cause is rheumatic fever. Then there is degenerative trauma to the tricuspid valve, sometimes post-infarction, carcinoid, appetite suppressing drugs, endocardial fibroelastosis, lupus, tumors involving the tricuspid valve, and mediastinal fibrosis. So, this is the rheumatic involvement of tricuspid valve, which shows that uh, the commissures are fused. Tricuspid valve is mostly associated with other mitral valve in tricuspid valve disease. Its incidence varies widely. Echocardiographically, 6% of uh, rheumatic heart disease involving the tricuspid valves uh, are uh, sh- are picked from the echocardiographic postmortem. After postmortem, 33% is the incidence, and surgical findings, 11% patients it is surgically found. Now, functional tricuspid regurgitation occurs because of the dilatation of the right ventricle, resulting in stretch on the commissures and tricuspid regurgitation. So, clinical features of tricuspid regurgitations are as the tricuspid valve anomaly involves the right sided heart failure. So, there is ascites, there is hepatosplenomegaly, the liver is pulsatile, there are pleural effusions, pulmonary peripheral edema, and in stages may be cachexic, jaundice, cyanotic. The jugular venous uh, pulse is distended, and on cardiac examination, there is L3 gallop, basically because of the right heart failure. T2 is loud because of the increased flow, and there is a pansystolic murmur. So, tricuspid stenosis, there is no inflow, there is increased difficult uh, blood flow from the right atrial to the right ventricle. So, there is increased right atrial pressure. There is distension of jugular veins. Uh, the backlogging of the pressure results in ascites, pleural effusion, peripheral edema, jugular venous pulse, prominent A waves, decreased cardiac output. There is mid diastolic murmur increases, which increases with inspiration, and it is heard maxillary along the left sternal border. There may be an opening snap. So, the diagnosis of tricuspid valve disease is mostly with the symptoms which are usually minimal and are overshadowed by the left side. The extra cardiac symptoms, for example, venous engorgement, is depicted. Disease is mostly silent, and in the past, its diagnosis was difficult. Now, this is an apical four-chamber echocardiographic view, transthoracic echocardiographic view, which shows that there is right atrial enlargement, there is right ventricular enlargement, and there is stretch on the tricuspid valve. Now, this transthoracic echo shows that because of the stretch, there is functional tricuspid regurgitation. So, the treatment of tricuspid stenosis or tricuspid regurgitation is mostly conservative with medicines, but uh, at the end, if the symptoms are not resolved, then the treatment is surgery. So we would be needing essential preoperative info, the presence of tricuspid valve disease, uh, is it organic or functional, the level of degree of regurgitation, the direction of regurgitation jet, pulmonary artery peak and mean pressures, and transvalvular pressures, maximum and minimum annulus diameter, and systolic shortening. So, if we ignore the tricuspid valve disease, uh, sometimes we ignore the tricuspid valve disease because it requires a second operation. There are many post-operative issues, and 66% tricuspid surgery left after mitral valve uh, may be needed. So the different types of tricuspid valve uh, surgeries are tricuspid annuloplasty, the rings and bands which decrease the stretch on tricuspid valve, uh, open band, and and, tri- and tricuspid valve replacement with a prosthetic. Or so the conclusion is the result has been poor in the past. Only severe lesions were treated. Valve replacement were done in exceptional cases. The superior diagnostic tool and surgical techniques today will enlarge the field of tricuspid. This is pulmonary valve stenosis. The pulmonary valve stenosis is a condition where the flow of blood from your heart to your lung is slowed down by a deformity either on or near your pulmonary valve. This valve helps the flow from the heart to the lung. So the pulmonary valve stenosis causes are usually during the fetal development. Sometimes other medical conditions having an or artificial valve can cause the condition. Usually, the pulmonary valve stenosis occurs in babies who do not have proper fetal development. Adults rarely get pulmonary valve stenosis. When they do it, usually have a complication of other illness. So, pulmonary valve stenosis can cause infection to the valve, can cause heart failure because the right ventricle uh, com- has to pump against a higher pressure, irregular heartbeat, and medicines. The tests are echocardiogram, which measures the electrocardiogram, echocardiography, and cardiac caths. And the treatment for pulmonary stenosis are either balloon valvotomy or open heart surgeries. Thank you.